So I think I came into this office when I was about 14. I was actually having a little bit of, not back pain, but something was bugging me kind of on the left side of my back. And my coach actually suggested, my coach Randy Smith suggested I came in here and see Dr. Troy. And I came in here about 14 and he kind of assessed me, went through all the movements and all that kind of stuff. And then after that, he fixed me up, and then I started training kind of as a way to maintain my body and just try and stay in shape to where I could play golf for a really long time, pain-free. I would say my mindset probably changed a little bit when I was in college. I was kind of exposed to, different guys and different stuff that they do. And for me, I was always a guy that did a warm-up when I wanted to go out and play. So every day I would do a warm-up for golf. The training side of it I didn't enjoy as much. It wasn't as much fun as going out and playing and practicing. Now my training in the gym is more of a necessity type deal where it's something where I feel like I have to be doing it in order to perform. I would say a lot of it. I think most of what we've done this past off season is trying to train my body to move the correct way. And so for a while in my golf swing, I had trouble loading into my right side. And so a lot of what we do in the gym is really training those muscles to where I can load properly. And it's paid dividends to where my body's felt as good as it has in a long time this year. And I'm swinging the club well. Yeah, so I'll usually get to the golf course a little over 2 hours before I tee off, and an hour that will be just straight warm up for the round, like hitting balls, putting, chipping, and that's the last hour. The first hour I'm usually going to see Troy, and then I'll go to the gym and do my warm up. And I'll see Troy for probably about 15 minutes, and my warm up will take about 20 minutes, and then grab a bite to eat and then go. My body just feels different. Like this morning we went out and hit some balls, and I didn't do my warm up because I thought we were coming here first, to do all the movements and everything. And so it just doesn't feel the same. And so for me, I'm a big routine guy. I like things to feel similar. And when I don't get my body properly warmed up, I kind of have to do a little bit more work when it comes to warming up in the driving range and like forcing myself to turn and load into my right side. And when I go through my warm up and I train myself and train my body to move that way, when I get to the golf course and start hitting the balls or start hitting shots, it's very normal. For a variety of reasons. I think long-term health is really important. And then movement patterns on the golf course. Like I said, when I'm able to train myself in here to move properly out on the course, I don't really have to think about things as much. And so when I train myself, I'm doing the proper movements and the proper patterns to where I'm training myself to swing the way that I need to swing. Yeah, first of all, I think a lot of it is aches and pains. Like when I go out and play with my buddies at home who are a bit older than I am, and they're in their mid-50s and they're still trying to play golf, they're getting cortisone shots and surgeries and all different kinds of stuff. And when they show up to the golf course, they really just show up and try and play. And they have aches and pains and they deal with different injuries. And a lot of the reason why they struggle to play golf is their body doesn't move properly for them to be able to hit a golf ball. And so when you're able to kind of have a warm up and have a workout routine and kind of gradually build up to where you're training your body to move properly, you're going to get a lot of big dividends on the golf course. Yeah, so I think one thing I notice is when I bring my buddies out when we were in high school and they wanted to try and play golf and they grew up playing football and basketball, their bodies didn't move properly because they trained themselves to be really strong, but not strong in motion. And so limited back mobility, limited hip mobility. And in order to hit a golf ball, you have to be very flexible. And so having the ability to actually turn and create speed with turning is a lot different than a typical sport like a basketball or football or something like that. And so when you're training yourself to play golf, it's going to look a lot differently than when you're going to watch people work out for football or if they're trying to get huge muscles. So the swing trainer is really good for me because one of the things I like in my golf swing is I like the golf club to feel kind of light. And so depending on how I change my warm-up, I had a pretty similar one for a number of years as a pro, and we actually changed it at the beginning of this year to incorporate the GolfForever swing trainer. And what it helped me do was, I talk about creating speed and motion. It was going through a lot more golf swing type motions where instead of just regular muscle activations, I was able to use the swing trainer to go through real motions. And so when I get out onto the range, I'm already fully warmed up to hit a full shot. And so when I'm going through my warm up on the range, it's very simple. I'm just feeling the body, feeling the club head, and just getting ready to go play versus trying to force myself to load into my hip or turn and do things like that. I think I'm seeing more benefits over time. It wasn't really a wow factor at the beginning, but I will say I used it for the first time at Torrey Pines this year. It was the second event. And I was actually, one of my knees was bugging me a little bit. And so when Troy and I were kind of working on the knee, he just said, hey, just try using the swing trainer for your warm up. Like it'll take some stress off the knee. We can go through these certain motions. And that's what we did. I went out and hit it good in the practice round. And I'd already thought about making a few changes to the warm up just so I could feel a little bit more ready to go when I got out on the course. And I swung it great that week doing the warm up with the swing trainer. And then I just kept it going, and I used it in Phoenix next week and I won. And then after that, I've just been kind of using it for about 5 to 10 minutes each day to warm up in the gym. Yeah, so I'll do most of my mobility stuff on the ground. I'll do muscle activation, stuff like that for about 10 minutes. And then immediately I'll get up and I'll attach the swing trainer to the side of the trailer and I'll go through my movements. And I think I have 5 different exercises that I do, and it takes a little over 5 minutes. And then I do a couple things with weights, and then I'm ready to go. So I'm big on just trying to make little incremental improvements. And so Troy and I, when we're in the gym, we're not trying to gain a bunch of club head speed really quickly, or we're not trying to get really bulky or get super flexible. We're just making little incremental improvements, and that's, part of our training regimen. It's making sure I stay mobile, trying to gain a little bit of speed when we can, and really kind of changing up the workouts to kind of keep my body guessing, but also training it to move properly.
If you don't want to tell them.
I wouldn't say so. I think everybody kind of has their own method, the way they do things. And for me, this is something that's worked, and I'm going to continue to do it because I've seen the real benefits of putting in the work in the gym. And like I said, the stuff in the gym I don't enjoy as much as I do going out and practicing. I love practicing. Working out in the gym is not really my thing. I love playing other sports, and that's how I would get my endurance for a long time. But now I've seen the benefits of being in the gym. And so now it's something that I feel like I really need to do. And I've taken a really big effort into putting the work in here and seeing the results on the course. Yeah, I think when you can warm your body up properly to go swing the golf club, it's really important. Most guys, when let's say they struggle with the slice or they hit a snap hook, I play with a guy at home that always blocks it to the right. And it's not because he's bad at golf, it's because he can't turn properly and he can't load all the way into his right side. And so it's tough for him because his body is preventing him from doing the movement that he wants to do. And so having a little routine or something that you're gradually working towards where he's focused on gaining more flexibility towards his right side, he'd really benefit from that.
So what's your buddy's name?
I'm not going to name his name.
Okay. Just say I'm him.
Yeah. I think when you're training for other sports, or why most people go to the gym is so that they can have muscles and be strong and be healthy. And when you're training for golf, it's a little bit different because you're focused more on flexibility and mobility and being strong in motion. And so not necessarily just having a big bench press or a big squat, but being able to use that when you're turning. And so it's a little bit of a different type of style of training that most people aren't used to and most people don't know about. And so for me, if I didn't have the tools to be able to train properly and to know what to do, I would have no clue. I would just be going in and doing my football workouts I did when I was a kid. And so having a program where you can actually be taught what to do is extremely important. Yeah, so when I show up to the golf course in the morning, if I'm going through my GolfForever exercises, there's 5 of them I do each day. If I was to go through them quickly, so not necessarily quickly in the movement, but quickly going from one exercise to the other, I can do them in 5 minutes and break a sweat. And then when I get out on the driving range, I don't need to start with a 60 degree. I can go out and rip a driver if I wanted to. I think you'll see some immediate benefits the first time you go out and play golf, but I think the aches and pains benefits will probably take a period of time. You're not just going to start magically just feeling great, but I think the first time you show up to the range, actually being warmed up to hit golf balls, you'll feel significantly different. I think being able to move properly, and when you're going through the GolfForever fitness program, you'll be able to train your body to move properly. And so you'll have mobility in your hips, you'll have mobility in your spine and stuff that you may not have had before. And then all of a sudden, when you go out to hit golf balls, you'll feel a little bit more fluid. And all of a sudden, you're probably going to see a few more yards of distance off the tee as well. My thing has always been, when I show up to a golf tournament, I want to feel like I've done everything I could to play well. And so when I show up on the first tee, I can live in the freedom knowing that I did everything I could. And if I shoot 80 or if I shoot 65, it's not really up to me. I've done everything I could to prepare. And so success is definitely not a given for me. Yeah, because like I said, I'm not really a gym rat. And so for me, going to the gym isn't a great fun activity. Me going out and playing pickup basketball or table tennis or pickleball, whatever it is, that's really fun for me. The stuff in here isn't as fun. And that's just something that I had to realize. And so now when I'm in the gym, my motivation is I want to be able to move properly. I want to be able to do these things for a long time. I want to stay healthy. And I know I need to do these things in order to be healthy for a long time. So I don't really expect things to come to me. For me, I would say that I try not to get too high or too low. For me, I never really thought I was that good at golf. So I just kept trying to improve. And like, just because I won some junior tournaments or won some amateur tournaments, or now I've won some professional tournaments, I still don't walk around feeling like the #1 player in the world or feeling like I'm the best or whatever it is. I've always just tried to make little incremental improvements over time. And I don't look too far into the future. I don't look too far into the past. I just try and stay in the moment. And what I mean by not, like, I always hoped to play on the PGA Tour. I believed that I could do it. I believed that I could win big golf tournaments. I just never expected to be in that position. So using the GolfForever fitness program and the swing trainer, I can do my warm-up at home in probably 15, 20 minutes. And that's as a professional golfer. I have a longer warm-up because it's what I do all day. I don't have to go to an office. I don't have to do anything else. And if I was to just use the SwingForever for 5 minutes, I could be warmed up. And so I've seen guys attach it to the golf cart at the course, or and when I'm in a hotel room, attaching it to like the doorknob or something. It's very easy. I can use it wherever I go. And so for me, having that tool where if we're going on a weekend trip, I don't have to bring a ton of equipment. I can just bring the swing trainer and do my warm-up and feel ready to go and still stay in my routine.
Never miss the latest videos from your Dr. Design golf fitness experts. Subscribe now.